Here today with this CYBPULTE Portable Power Station. This is their C601 banana case for scale. It's a pretty small little guy. It does 600 watts of continuous output with 1200 watt surge. It only weighs 6.8 pounds, so it's pretty light. This is usually priced around about $299. Sometimes it's on sale. It is 9.4 by 6.5 by 7.1 inches. Again, it's pretty small. It has this kind of sort of grippy handle here, and then a built-in LCD display of pretty much all these do. So you have the two AC outputs, and they do have the little cavity for the ground plug. Obviously it won't be grounded, but sometimes these things don't have the cavity for the ground plug, and it's like, what do you want me to do? Break off the grounding pin? You do have a 12 volt cigarette plug. You have a 12 volt barrel jack. Then you have the input jack, which is unfortunately a barrel jack off of this USB or little it's the barrel jack with this little AC power plug that it comes with. So I don't like when they have these barrel jacks. It's nicer when they have the standard like AC power cord, but I get it. It's a small one. Charging on a wall outlet, this is going to take quite a while. It takes about 6 hours. It does charge pretty slow. You can do solar input there. It supposedly has an MPPT controller. I don't have any way to get my solar to the 12 volt barrel. Everything's like power pole or solar or whatever. So I can't test that feature, unfortunately. If you combine the wall outlet with the solar and you're getting the max solar input, you can charge it in as little as 2 hours. But, you know, just this power brick is kind of what limits a lot of that charging there, because it's small and it's a pretty narrow gauge cable and everything. It does have built-in overload, overvoltage, overcurrent, overtemp, and short circuit safeguards. Depending on where you buy it, it comes with a 12-month warranty and lifetime tech support. Now, obviously you're not going to use this for running your refrigerator. This refrigerator I have probably would run on it, but not for a very long time. It would get you through a small blip, but yeah. What I would use this for is if I needed to go somewhere and I wanted something more than like a little USB power bank for charging my electronics. I believe it was last year, my brother-in-law and his kids came and stayed, and they went to a Pokemon tournament. They borrowed one of my large, it's somewhere quasi between a power station and one of those USB phone banks. It does have AC outlets, but this would be like a similar use case. This one has a slightly larger battery. That thing was a little bit larger footprint, but it was only like that tall. So if I was going to something like that and I needed to charge my phones, maybe take a fan with me or something, it'd be great. If you were going to a craft festival and again, you just wanted something to charge your phones, maybe run a little fan because it's summer, this would be great. So that's the kind of market that this thing's going to be for. You could also charge your laptop if it didn't do power delivery and you had to use the AC plug. You'd get some good charging time there because this is a 299 watt hour and your laptop's probably going to be at most like half of that. So you could get a couple or several charges out of this thing. I'm going to do the hairdryer test on this like I normally do with power stations. I think we're going to trip when we go to the high setting just because that thing draws, I think, like 13 or 1400 watts. So we're going to be getting close there to, you know, the danger zone, but it should run fine on the lower cooling modes and stuff. So yeah, let's check that out. We'll also check out the USB ports. I have a phone over there we can try charging. Let's start with the hairdryer test. So let me see here. Get that in, and then I believe we just turn it on here. There we go. So we'll start on the cool setting. Nope, that's heat. So there is the low cool setting. We're drawing 72 watts. There's the high cool setting. We're drawing about 108 watts. This is kind of like the warm but not hot setting. We're going to have about 28, 29 minutes doing this, 490. There's the high setting. Yeah, so it went ahead and shut off as soon as it got over 600. It's supposed to have 1200, I think, of peak. But this would have exceeded that 1200 too, so that's probably why it shut off on the surge. Let's try that again. We're at the low medium setting. We're going to go to the high medium setting. Okay, so that may have been a fluke from the hairdryer. Now we're going to the hot setting on low. Probably going to instantly shut off. No? So it's going to do a little over the 600. Now it should shut off real quick. I'm going to switch now. Hey, fancy that. It's not going to the full draw that this will do. This should be drawing like 1600, and it's limiting it to 800. So you may actually get a little more than that 600 out of there before it trips. So that's pretty cool. I'm trying to think of something I have that's just going to immediately try to draw way more than that. I don't really have anything that's not a massive appliance, but pretty cool. The fact that it can handle that and didn't like freak out, that's very promising. Now I have discharged this thing a couple of times just to make sure, you know, it was going to charge fine and everything. Sorry, that cable did not want to stay on the counter. So I have this beast of a phone that I'm doing a test on. It's over a pound, but I've just finished doing the battery drawdown test. I'm at 51%, so it's a good place to check this out. I'm going to leave the AC on, but we're going to go ahead and turn the DC on for the USB here. Interesting. Maybe you can't run AC and DC at the same time, or maybe that's what that icon there is. Maybe there was just no indication that the DC was on. I'm going to turn the AC on too. And we'll see if this works at the same time. So let me get in here to this USB port. They always put flaps on this thing. And there we go. So it is charging. And it's showing the type C. Pulling 15 watts, 17 watts. So yeah, like if you're charging your phone or whatever, you're gonna get 12, 13 hours out of this thing. Obviously, it's not gonna do like the fast charging or whatever. You could always plug your GAN into the AC. You're gonna lose some efficiency to the inverter or whatever. But this is great for exactly what I said. Now I could plug in a little fan. I even have some USB fans. I could plug those in. That'd be more optimal because you're getting just direct current to direct current instead of direct current going through the inverter to AC. So for uses like that, if you wanted to take this to like a little convention and you had a booth and you just needed something that you could, you know, maybe you're maxed out on the power or you don't trust the power that's running if you're inside a convention, but if you're outside or like a craft fair, this should run your phone and everything just fine. And I think that's what the use case is for these. You're not going to power anything meaningful off these for a long period of time. So I'd go something bigger for an emergency, but yeah, this definitely has a use case. And again, I've cycled it 3 times. This would be the 4th time that I'm drawing it down. Everything seems to be working fine. Unfortunately, again, I could not test the solar, so I'm sorry about that. My only real complaint here is that it doesn't use the AC cord. It uses one of these bricks and then a DC barrel. So you don't want to lose that. Those power cables are easy to get because they're standard, but this is going to be something you're going to have to order. Oh, so this is a GAN adapter. Interesting. So this is 100 to 240 volts, 50 to 60 hertz, 1.5 amps, output 19 volts at 3.42 amps. So yeah, that's why it's going to charge this thing a little slow. But yeah.